Something I've been wanting a lot lately is French onion soup, but it's still slightly toasty, so I'm not gonna do soup. I thought, what else can I do with French onion? I've done French onion chicken, delicious, but I want to do French onion mac and cheese. I feel as though that would hit the spot, so that's what I'm gonna do. Same process, we're gonna do some definite cooking on the stove of those onions for a long time, like half an hour, 45 minutes. We want to get them good and caramelized, but then I'm gonna make a roux and a cheese sauce and put pasta in it. That cannot be bad. And the pasta that I'm using, one moment, is actual perfection. The shape of it is like pretty spot on for sauces because it's hollow. See, it's like a little shell almost. Gnocchetti sardi. It's perfect for saucy dishes because it is hollow. All the sauce can get like stuck in there, and it has ridges, which is also very nice for sauces because it'll stick to the pasta in those ridges and just be perfect. So I'm gonna get to prepping and cooking because this is gonna take a little bit because of the onions. Let's get started. Couple of sweet onions. Looks like a lot, and it is. This one's like a big papa onion, but these onions will shrink down into absolutely nothing. You can cut these however you want, but I feel like French onion, anything, has to be sliced. For a little sweetness and variety, I just have a shallot here that I'm also going to just slice up. Ooh, I have to do this in a hurry. I am already having tears. Shallot tears burn more than onion tears to me. I don't know why, but oh my gosh. Couple cloves of garlic. Nothing too crazy. The onion is the star here. Slice these up. Got the pan with all of my goods in here, and this will be going on the stove soon, but last couple things I want to add into here. Some butter. I have some thyme sprigs. I should take the leaves off. I don't want to pull these out. I'm gonna put the leaves in here. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't. I like taking the leaves off of thyme. You just go in the opposite direction of how they grow. Boop. And I want to put in a bay leaf. I love the flavor that bay leaf gives things. That one's a little one. It's also broken. We'll put in two. Some Worcestershire sauce. Give it that beefy flavor. Salt and pepper. I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in here just to help things along. But now this goes over to the stove. Medium low heat. You want these caramelized, soft, deep brown. You don't want them crispy, so don't do it on a high heat. And this will take a little bit, so just keep going over there. Keep stirring it up. Make sure everything's getting all good and brown, and it's going to turn into literal candy, and it will be less than half the size of this. While my onions are doing their thing, I want to get my cheese ready. Ultimately, you want some good melting cheese. I'm gonna use a little bit of cheddar. This is my absolute favorite, the Alpine cheddar from Cabot. So delicious. It's like really sharp and nutty and just good. I have a little bit of Colby Jack here that I'm gonna also be shredding up. And the star of the show, I have some raclette here, which is, you know, have you seen those videos where they like melt the cheese over the potatoes? That's raclette. Delicious, soft, beautiful cheese. It melts like a dream, and it smells divine. So I'm just going to shred it all up. I don't like to really say a measurement for my cheese because like I don't like to measure cheese, so I think I shall use all of this. So this raclette is like a quarter of a pound, I think I got. I don't know. I'll probably do all this and maybe half of this cheddar. So like 3 ounces, quarter of a pound, maybe, I don't know. I'll measure in handfuls when I'm done. And it is always best to shred your own cheese. You don't have to. It will melt a lot easier and nicer when you shred your own cheese. Got some major cheese here. This might be too much. Well, no, it's never too much. But I'm not really making a huge batch of macaroni and cheese. It can never be cheesy enough, so got all my cheeses. Maybe like a cup of each, actually, around there. if you're looking for a measurement. Another thing I like to put into my mac and cheese personally is mustard powder, so I'll be using some of this. Checking on my onions, they are softening up nicely. They've been on for about 10 minutes. We still have a bit to go. We are at the 20-minute mark now. Things are still going nicely. I turned the heat down just a little bit. It was getting a little too crazy in here. We are at 30 minutes with our onions. All of this stuff on the bottom of the pan here will lift up when we start to deglaze the pan. Also, if you want to speed this process up a little bit, could put a little bit of broth in here or even some water. The steam just helps soften things up a little more quickly, and also it does lift a little bit of this up. We are at 40 minutes and I'm calling it. This is plenty done for me. They still have a little bit, like a very tiny bite to them. If you wanted to caramelize them completely, like actually make them into an onion paste, go for it. This is enough for me. So what I'm gonna do is take out my bay leaves. Thank you for your service. You've done your job. You don't want to be eating these. I'm gonna be making my sauce in this pan, and I think that I want to take out my onions for this. I'll put them back in later. Keeping this pan on a medium heat, melt down my butter and add an equal part of all-purpose flour. Cook the flour for a minute or so. You just want to get that raw flavor out of there. Now I'm gonna slowly whisk in my milk. And I'm gonna keep on whisking until this gets nice and thick and starts to bubble. I added a bunch of freshly ground black pepper. I love black pepper in my mac and cheese. And I added a little baby pinch of salt. I don't need as much salt in here because the cheese is already kind of salty. I think we are there. I turn the heat off because when we add the cheese, just keep the heat off. And I'm gonna slowly whisk in the cheese, handful by handful. Going to add my onions back in and my pasta. Switch to a different utensil and incorporate everything. It is going to be super loose right now, but this thickens right up when you let it sit. This is a mac and cheese. She's thickened up. I topped it with just a little bit of fresh thyme and some flaky salts, and I am ready to house this. It is so cheesy, so sweet from those onions. This is a good little mashup. Yes, this one took a little longer than usual, but it is worth it. It's just so comforting. You should try it. I was completely right about that pasta. It's like the sauce found its way into the little hollow edge of it, and every time you bite down, it's like an extra burst of sauce that you didn't know you were gonna get, and it sticks so nicely to the outside. Ooh, look at those onions. Enjoy.